Welcome back, everyone, to yet another episode of Close to Broke. My name is Kieran. It's a pleasure to have you guys. If you're reading the title, it's pretty clear as day. This is going to end up being one of the biggest losing sessions of my poker career, so I promise you, you don't want to look away. This is finally what you guys have been waiting for, the biggest loss, worst session of my career. So, quickly want to mention, we finally got a casino for the meetup game. We're going to be playing at the Lucky Lady Casino, which is the Larry Flint property in Gardena, California. Quick note, you can actually go ahead and go right now. The link is down below to the Poker Atlas. You guys can actually sign up for the meetup game now. Go ahead and call the casino. Let them know to put your name on the board. Super simple and easy, which is, again, just in Los Angeles. It'll be at 6 p.m. July 16th. We're going to be having a live poker list on Poker Atlas a few weeks in advance for the game. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to DM us on Instagram or contact us here through the comment section. And that's pretty much it for that portion. And obviously, we're still doing the giveaway for the Las Vegas WSOP package. If you guys are interested in that, the link is in the description as well on how to enter. Anyways, enough of the gibbering and jabbering. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. As always, love you all dearly. Enjoy the show. Also, if you do it for me, if this video can get 750 likes, I mean, we've got to start building back the bankroll somehow. This is, again, the biggest loss of my career, so maybe, what do you guys think? Let me know. We're back at the Texas Card House. Since the last time we were here, unfortunately, we have some unfinished business. We're down 1,300 since the last time we played here, so I don't know. If it's up to me, I think we're due for a little bit of better running, so we'll see how it goes. Let's hop on into the Texas Card House. So, as you guys very well know, there is not much to hide from, so let's get straight into this crazy session. So we get sat down at a table that looks horrific. It's full of pros, and if you're in Texas, that's the last thing you want. We're here to make some money, so I go ahead and ask for the table change, and we're at a new table now, which is first hand in. We get involved with the biggest stack at the table. So we're pretty early into the session, as we just mentioned. We're switching over tables here. Hand one. This is literally the first hand we're playing at the table. The straddle is on. The game is 2, 5, 10. Early position decides to raise to $35. It folds over to me in the small blind. And as everyone knows, we'd like to be pretty much just 3-betting or folding for the most part in the small blind, unless we have some hands, and especially in a game like this where the implied odds are so large considering everyone's so deep. Ace-7 of diamonds is going to be on the lower part of our calling range, but we're happy. Well, it's fine. I think we're okay with it. Gets over to the big blind, and he decides to squeeze here, making it $190 to go. Folds back to me, and I think that if we're already going to be calling from the small blind, there's no way in hell that I'm going to be throwing this away, right? We're going to be compounding on bad play, as I'm so accustomed to doing at times. So I go ahead and make the call here, considering that having a suited ace, and he could just be squeezing in this spot with, any number of hands. The flop comes nearly as good as we're going to get with Ace-7 of diamonds. It comes Queen-7-4 with 2 diamonds, so we flop middle pair and the nut flush draw. I go ahead and check, and he decides to bet $100. Gets back over to me, and I think at this point it'd be really great to knock the equity he has in the pot out of the hand. So hands like pocket jacks, pocket tens, ace-jack, ace-king. We want to get all those hands that have equity to fold, obviously, while we're drawing here. And then hands, like I said, those made hands that will definitely make up his range, probably get them to fold as well sometimes. So I go ahead and raise to $350, and after a little bit of thinking, he decides to make the call. The turn comes at 6 of hearts. Can't give up on the bluff now. We go ahead and bet $650, again as a semi-bluff. And he thinks about it for a little while and decides to make the jam. We started the hand with $2,000 effective, me being the effective stack. So considering how much money we've put in the middle to this point, which is well over half my stack, I think it's about 800 or so more for me to call, and I don't think there's much to do here besides call. Again, just considering the raw equity in my hand, assuming that his range consists of aces, kings, some top sets, and then top pairs, we're still doing fairly good against that range, especially with the price that we're getting now. So we go ahead and make the call. We go ahead and make the call. We decide to run 2 boards. The first board comes river 7, get a huge bailout card there. And on the second board, it comes out a black deuce. Unfortunately, none of that mattered because our opponent was holding pocket queens for a top set. River the boat on the river on the first board, and on the second board, we were just drawing dead. So unfortunate there. Played a hand really fast that didn't need to be played that fast, and we definitely get bit in the butt on that one. So unfortunate. So after we are licking our wounds from the previous hand, we look down at 10-8 of clubs in early position. We go ahead and open it to $20. Middle position calls, and the button decides to isolate here for $130. Folds back to me. This is going to be an easy call for me, I think. Like I say, I like really defending against 3 bets, and considering I'm playing $2,000 effective, we're pretty deep stacked, as you can see. The middle position player decides to make the call as well. The flop comes Jack 10-3 Rainbow. We go ahead and check it over to the button, who decides to check it through as well. The turn comes yet another 10, so we're doing good about early in the session catching these trips. Checks to the middle position player here on the turn, who bets $200. The button calls, and it's to me. I have the option, obviously, to raise or call here. Folding is obviously off the table. And I think at the time I was just playing in flow. I was just in this terrible, non-thinking style of poker where I really think that I should be raising in this spot. I'm targeting a very small amount of hands, but there's going to be a ton of straight draws as well as flush draws. As you can see, the flush draw comes here on the turn, where I'll be getting a ton of value, and it'd be hard to get value on the river on a lot of bricks. But like I said, didn't think that through well enough, and we just make the call. The river's a 7. We all check it through. I shut down to my 10-8, and it's good. So unfortunately, misplayed the hand there, I think. Missed a ton of value on the turn, or at least the ability to not have to show down. Unfortunate there, but a lot of poor poker being played so far. And if you're getting a whiff of it, this kind of becomes a trend. Under the gun makes it $20. I'm in middle position. I go ahead and make the call. One other player decides to make the call as well, and we're heading to a flop with King, Queen offsuit. The flop comes 6-4-3 monotone, a bunch of clubs out there, and we're holding the King of clubs. Checks over to the cutoff. He decides to bet $50, and myself and the initial raiser decide to make the call. The turn is the 7 of hearts, bringing that open-ender that was there on the flop. Checks over to the cutoff once again, who bets $125. Initial raiser folds back to me, and after a little bit of thinking, I decide to make the call once again. And this is pretty bad. You should be just folding your hand at this point. Drawing to just enough, the second enough flush draw is not enough, so let's get that out of the way now. The river pairs the board. It's a 6. I think this is a pretty decent time to go ahead and bluff at the pot for whatever reason. I lead for $350. Betting a pretty large sizing here. Again, I'm trying to show that I guess I have some kind of weird boat. And he pretty quickly snap raises and I snap fold. So getting my hand cocked in the cookie jar. None of the bluffs going through here. And yeah, pretty disappointing so far. Like I said, compounding on really bad poker. Running bad, playing bad, and I look like a fool now.
Just a quick mid-session update. To know how much longer I have in me. I think at this point I'm just playing to get unstuck, which is a dangerous thing, so I'm trying to keep my head straight. And I hate bitching about this shit, dude, so pardon me, but I have been fucking card dead for like the last 4 sessions. And then anytime we have big hands, just unfortunate we can't get any value. So gotta zen it up, gotta try to feel better, but we are getting fried. We're like down almost 2,800 or something in this game, so, or like 2,700. So we're getting fried. It is what it is. As you guys saw, the hands have just been super frustrating, poor play, and then just a little bit of run bad. So it is what it is. It's hard to bitch about getting bad hands when you're playing bad, you know what I mean? So I'm not really helping myself either. Nonetheless, we're gonna hop back into the game and see if we can't make a little bit of money before we have to pack our bags.
I'm in the small blind, and I look down at ace-king offsuit. The button has been fairly aggressive, and I don't really hate sometimes playing out of position and just being able to have a hand as strong as just a flat. So I go ahead and make the call. The big blind makes it $100. She is a old woman coffee. The straddle go ahead and makes the fold. It gets back over to me. She's playing about 350 total from what I can see. And with ace king, I'm just never going to fold anyway, so I'd rather just get the money in and see all 5 cards. I raised enough to put her all in. And to my surprise, she actually had like $450 bordering $500. So totally miscounted her stack. That's my fault, but not that it really changes anything. Just that's how bad I was playing. I was not even paying attention to the proper stack sizes. Anyways, she goes ahead and makes the call, and we run 2 boards. She has pocket jacks, and we whiff on both boards. She makes quads on the second board. No chance. There's no running good today. We don't deserve it, to be honest. At this point, we're playing 5-handed. I'm going to hijack and raise to $30 with king-queen offsuit. The button and the big blind make the flop is 9-4 deuce rainbow. On boards that are this dry with a king high holding, I think it's important to continue to c-bet to protect yourself in a lot of ways and get a lot of weird hands that have equity against yours. But I don't think it's an issue to really check back, considering I have some showdown value in this situation, and I don't want to blow the pot against in a game that people just are not willing to fold any part of the board at this point. All that being said, the turn comes a king of hearts. So pretty great card, all things considered, making top pair. The big blind leads for $75. It gets over to me. I make the call. The river comes a 7. The big blind decides to check now. And I think at this point, I love going for big sizings almost always, but I'm a little bit concerned on the big blind's actual holding, and I think that I need to be targeting middling pairs at this point. So I want to go pretty small, 50 or less % of the pot at this point. I go ahead and bet $125, and after some tanking, he decides to make the call. Finally, get a winner. We show it down. It's going to be good here. So hopefully this brings us closer and closer to out of the hole, because we are really in the hole in this game. Alrighty, folks, the very last hand of the night ends up being the biggest pot of the night as well. We have an older gentleman who's fairly nitty. He's pretty passive is the right word. Pre-flop, he's pretty passive, and post-flop, he's kind of all over the place. Nonetheless, hopefully that's a decent enough picture I can paint. He goes ahead and raises it from early position here to like $30 or $35 if I'm not mistaken. It gets over to me in the small blind. I go ahead and make it $150. We're playing 6 or 7 hand at this point. It folds back over to him, and he's stuck pretty big in this game, so begrudgingly throws out $500-ish. Gets back over to me, facing a warm 4-bet in this situation. We can just call and evaluate, play some flops, or you could be upset and play really bad poker and just get 500 big blinds in pre-flop. We're playing, I think, around $1,500 or $1,300 effective at this point, but we decide to go with the latter. We warm 5-bet all in, and he instantly snap calls. We're up against it though. He has pocket aces, and unfortunately our ace king suited is going to need to do a lot of catching up. The flop is queen, jack, deuce. The turn is a 4, and the river is another 10, so bricks all around. Unfortunate situation for us. We are felted, and that does pretty much destroy all hopes that we could possibly have to have a decent game. So at that point, I am absolutely licking my wounds. As you guys know, it's turned into one of the worst sessions of my poker career. There's just not any real words I can say or do to make me feel any better or to make me sound any smarter. It's just pretty frustrating nonetheless, but you can't take it back. What I can do is just study and work on my craft, because the poker that I was playing in this episode was just far from the brand of poker that I usually play. And obviously we did it though. Close to broke. We're getting there. Oh, by the way, BJ's hands from this episode, or from this session, will be included in the next vlog. There was just so much going on with my poker hands that I didn't want to dilute the episode by overwhelming you guys with BJ's hands, because BJ had one of the greatest comeback sessions of his career. So I don't want to ruin his awesome episode with my shitty, sad episode. So nonetheless, we'll see you guys in the next one. Love you guys all dearly, and until then, deuces.